Hello, good afternoon. Okay, now this video will be a show how you can use the ProbCons inside your WSL Windows subsystem for Linux inside your Windows machine. Actually, I did by request. I did a change on this ProbCons program. It was not possible to compile in WSL in Ubuntu 20.04 and 22.04. I made some changes on the source code and I could make this small GitLab repository where you can find actually all the modified files and actually the original files of the original package of ProbCons that it makes in the University of Stanford. And actually now is this small tutorial will be to use the ProbCons inside the WSL and how you can use several other tools, Windows tools, to modify the input files and also read the output files. One tool you must download and install in your computer is this tool. It's quite practical. It's called Notepad++. I don't know if you know it, but this is actually a very good tool. It's an editor, a source editor. It's source for every kind of programming language and everything that is text based. Remember, the input files of ProbCons must be a text file. Not you cannot use like a Word file or something like this. It will not work. It must be a text file. In that way, Notepad++ is the best tool. Actually, you can use the Notepad, the normal Notepad of Windows, but this tool is very flexible. And not only that, because the text files in Linux and the text files in Windows, there are some small difference. It's better to use this kind of tool. I will show you later why. Now let's go to your Ubuntu LTS. You see, this is the console where you do a lot of commands, Linux commands actually. Actually, WSL, the Windows subsystem for Linux, is a container application. It's like a simulated Windows inside, simulated Linux inside Windows, in the form of a container. A container is kind of abstraction where computing abstraction where you can emulate an operating system inside another host operating system. Actually, our host operating system is Windows, and there is an emulation of Linux inside this with a container. In that way, this operating system is like you have an actual Linux inside your Windows computer without installing complete partition of Linux and all this stuff. You can have all these Linux tools inside here, and even all the commands. In that way, I recommend you, if you are new to Linux, I will send you also the links of this command sheet sheet where you can see all the basic commands. And I mean, there is a lot of commands here. Some of them you will need it, and of course there is also I search for a YouTube tutorial actually with a Linux virtual machine, but it's almost the same with explaining all the commands, basic commands that you have here. The commands here, one of the most used is ls. Okay. As you see here, I could see ls -l or ls. The -l will show you the completely long way to show what kind of file or directory are. In that case, src is a directory. There is also what is called aliases. In Ubuntu, in this Ubuntu, there are two aliases. There is one, this is called L, it's only L. This is exactly like ls-f, okay? And there is another alias, it's called LL, double L. And this LL will show all the files, even the hide ones. I mean, there is a lot of hide files. The hide files are files with a dot in the beginning, and they will now show you by default. Okay, this is the same as you say ls-la. It's absolutely the same. You can also say the command alias show you all the alias defined. As you see, the L alias and the LA alias. Okay. In that way, of course, we have this source directory, and inside this source directory, the ProbCons directory. This directory were created during this modification of this ProbCons package, and this was a download of the Git repository, and this was actually the output of all the compilation. As you see, there are a lot of programs here compared mainly ProbCons and project. These other programs, I don't know what they do because they are not documented in the PDF of ProbCons, and this okay, this is other commands. I don't know what they do, as I told you. You see here all the files that are executable. They have like a star if you do an LL command. And this star, of course, is not part of the name. This is also a display of the command that says, okay, this is an executable file. That means it will be a file that it is possible to execute. Like if we do ProbCons, oh, sorry. Yes, I need one still. And as you see, if I run ProbCons without any parameter at all, they will give me some kind of help. Okay. As part of my test, of the test I did, I generate this file called test that I could look at it inside with this command called cat. Okay, now comes the nice part. This test.txt actually is an input file, yes, and this input file, this is an example input file. But if you want to modify this input file, you need some kind of external program, of course, like actually what I told you, this Notepad++. And the better way to do that is in the following way. Please take a look. Actually, as I told you, this is a virtual machine with a virtual disk drive, actually a virtual hard drive in some way. This virtual hard drive, you can actually see it in the Windows Explorer. If you go here with the Windows Explorer, you open the Windows Explorer, you will see actually a Linux icon if you have, and you will see Ubuntu. Okay. When I click over Ubuntu, actually you will be in the directory, in the root directory of the file system, of the virtual file system, actually here. If I made an LL, and if you compare here what is here, okay, you will see this boot, dev, etc., home. You will see the same directories as here. Okay, as you see, what I see here in the Windows file manager, It's exactly the same as I see here in the console, in the Windows console. Okay, that means the Windows File Manager is looking at the virtual hard drive of my simulated Linux. Actually, when I do cd, okay, I go to my home directory. The home directory of the user that I create when I install the WSL is always indicated with this kind of symbol. This symbol is tilde symbol, I will say. Okay. And actually there is a command to say where is physically, where is this directory. This directory has a path, and this path is with the command pwd is /home/debug. Okay, and if you see here, actually as I told you, if I go here to Ubuntu, this actually is this is the slash. This is the slash, and there is also a home. You see home, and you will see debug. Okay, and if you see also home debug, you will see, of course, all the same files as I say here. Okay, you see, it's actually absolutely the same. Local source, there are two directories, and the same are the hide files. Okay, in that way, I could copy a file, like, okay, I could go to source, I could go to ProbCons, and I will say now here this test file. This is the same as here, source, ProbCons, and when I say there is the test.txt file. This file I could make right click on it, say copy, and I could like paste here in my desktop. Okay, if I paste this file in my desktop, I could rename it if I want. Okay, I could say, okay, I will call it sequences 2, like something like this, also with txt extension. And after that, I go to my Notepad++, not with the Notepad, please, better with the Notepad, Notepad++, and only drag and drop the file. I could modify now my file here. Okay, I could modify, and please take in account the following. This is why this is used with this Notepad++. Here you see there is a, here as you see in the cursor where I am indicated, says Unix LF. This means that this text file is an Unix format text file. Okay, you can also modify it with, you go a right click here, and you could change to a Windows text file or a Macintosh text file, but we will left the file in that way. And of course you can modify now your file because it's your input file. Of course I don't know what it means actually, but if you modify it, okay, you do the modify you want, and you save it, like, okay, let's change this V by I don't know, an E. I suppose I made something right, but I am not biologist or chemistry. I don't know, sorry, about this genome sequences, but I only testing. Let's see what's happened. And I will go only with file and save. Okay, now my file is saved. I'm also, there is the normal icon with save. I close the editor. And now I have this new file called sequences 2. Now this sequences 2, if you see now, I have here again the directory with the ProbCons is. I could make like a copy here, and now go here inside and say paste. And now I have sequences 2. if I go to my console, you will see now a file called sequences2.txt. You see? And now I could run ProbCons with sequences2 as input file. And remember, one thing that you must remember in Linux and Unix in general, this symbol, the greater than symbol, indicates redirection. That means it will redirect what you will display in the console to a text file. And then of course I could say, okay, ProbCons sequence, and I say output.txt. You can put the txt if you want. If you don't want, it is also okay, but the output will be always a text file. Okay, now if I run, okay, now it was running, okay, and if I made again a list, you will see an output.txt. Okay, you can see this output.txt using cat. Okay, you will see it. But if you want to edit or you want to use it in your Notepad++, you can use also the same question as before. Now you make here you press the key F5 in your keyboard, and this will refresh, and after you refresh you will see the output.txt. You see also here, then copy and paste to your desktop, and you can open making right click over the file and go edit with Notepad++, and now you have your result files. Okay, as you see, these result files are also Unix result files. Okay, 17 minutes of tutorial. I hope this is a good explanation. If you have any other questions, please don't hesitate to ask. Okay, thank you very much, and bye bye.